Hey there everyone, dazzling, blazing, shimmering dusk here with another theory today. Yes, that's right, another whole theory. Well, actually a bunch of different theories. Today is going to be part of a long 2 or maybe 4-part special about solving the biggest mysteries of this franchise. This pizzeria bear mascot franchise full of murder and mystery. And we're going to be solving some mysteries like, where did the shadows come from, and what is their importance in the story, and like, how Sister Location plays into this. What is William Afton's backstory? What will happen to Michael after FNAF 3? You know, besides him going to come and find his father. And what happened to Ennard after Sister Location? I mean, geez, Scott. But I'll also be covering some other theories I've been having, like a very controversial one, like Ennard actually being his own being, and some other theories like things that test the canonicity of everything else, like all the characters of the custom night, and the other play modes as well. And how the twisted ones and hold on a sec. Just stay put, okay? You'll have to excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry for the delay, everyone. I found it. My other book, The Silver Eyes. Anyway, we're going to find out how these two books help fit in the game's storyline. As we know, Scott Cawthon declared that the books are not canon to the story. But they do provide a good storyline, I'll give you that. So you might not want to throw that canonicity book out the window, you know? Oh, just excuse me for one more second. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's start by getting the controversial theory out of the way, that Ennard is his own being. Well, let me just show you something real quick, alright? There is just one tiny little detail that almost everyone doesn't seem to accept. Ennard's red button on his chest. Like, no other animatronic has it. Not Circus Baby, not Funtime Freddy, not Bon Bon, not Ballora, the Mini-Renas, Funtime Foxy, Lolbit, Yendo, no Electrobab, nor Bonnet. None of them seem to have that red button. All except Ennard. That is one very important detail. I mean, it never gets mentioned anywhere else. But there was something strikingly familiar about that button. It was round with 4 holes in it, similar to the puppet. Yeah, everyone was thinking of a Funtime puppet. Well, they got one. As Matt had stated in his prediction theory for Sister Location, he said the puppet's mask and Ennard's mask look exactly the same. And it's true. They're exactly the same color and shape. Almost the same color and shape. They have the same smile. And almost the same eye shape. Except Ennard has detachable ears and a party hat that's included with the mask. But that's another thing. His mask! Has anyone stopped to consider that this mask might have been part of another animatronic? No way, Jose! No way. Anyway, there's also another tiny little detail that you might have missed. During Ennard's jump scare in the breaker room, actually inside the parts and service, we see that if you look closely at his left eye, the dark part of his iris seems to be sort of rotated upward, right to the side of his nose, where his nose would be. And that's not normal on any of the other animatronics. Now, some people might believe that his left eye and dangling eye are Freddy's eyes, but what people don't know is this tiny little detail I found. When playing the parts and service, this breaker room, the parts and service, when doing repairs on Funtime Freddy and opening up his endoskeleton, we see a tiny little white dot just above his eye. And that tiny little white dot is important because it appears not only on him, but on Yendo. And here's a very interesting thing. That little white dot only appears when Funtime Freddy and Yendo when Funtime Freddy exposes his endoskeleton. And Yendo is fully naked. He doesn't have a suit at all. He's just an endoskeleton. So that means that little white dot would be there all the time. And as I stated in my last video about the connections between Golden Freddy and Yendo, with Yendo being a Funtime version of Golden Freddy, in fact, Ducko was right on saying that, or predicting that this character, Yendo, was indeed a Funtime Fredbear. But I think he was most likely scrapped. And the most shocking thing, I think, is that Yendo used to be one of the animatronics performing the first time Circus Baby's Pizza World was about to open. As you all remember, Scott is a very good troll, and the one time he trolled us is that the Sister Location canceled teaser, and boy am I still sour for that. But if we hadn't brightened it up, we wouldn't have gotten this special news report. And it says that I guess they weren't as ready as I thought they would. Look at the subject. They, as in multiple animatronics, not just Circus Baby. Oh no. I think that Yendo and Ennard, along with Lolbit, surprisingly, performed at Circus Baby's Pizza World before it was open. And a few select children and adults were there to see how it would work out. But William Afton covered it up by saying they were gas leaks, but in reality, it was Circus Baby who killed his daughter. As we learned from Circus Baby's dark tale of murder, we know that there were children running in and out of her hall. But there's another tiny important detail. I know, there's just tons of tiny important details. But you have to listen to me on this one. It's revolutionary. Revolutionary, I tell you. Where do I even start? Oh yes, that's right. Dang it. I forgot what I was going to say. Now I remember. She says that there was music coming from somewhere else, down a hall. If there was music coming from somewhere else down a hall, that would mean that an animatronic or animatronics were performing there. And my most likely guess is that as to why Yendo is now an endoskeleton would be that his suit got scooped up and his endo got... No, let me reverse that. His suit got taken from him and his endo got scooped out. I think it was most likely that his suit was reused to make Funtime Freddy. And the reason why I think Bonnet, and I think it's also the reason why Bonnet was never Yendo's hand puppet. bit because Yendo has both of his hands. Another key difference between Funtime Freddy and his golden counterpart. I bet Bonnet was most likely scrapped, but her design was put to later use into Bon Bon. Lullabit's design was used to make Funtime Foxy, and Ennard was scooped away and used for parts. Therefore, hensing, there's a little me in every body. He was used for parts, just like the withered animatronics, except FNAF 2. And I think this is all surrounding Ennard's plan, which is to get out of this facility. But I think he's not alone. He contains William Afton's daughter. Now think about it. In the fake ending, we get to see Ennard crawling by his bare hands, or wires, as his eyes flash a brilliant green. But this green isn't Circus Baby's. This is his own eyes. As we know, Circus Baby's eye is on his leg. And he has one of each all over him. One for Funtime Foxy, one for Ballora, and one for Baby. Even one for Freddy. As I explained earlier, for that tiny white dot, and Ennard's importance to it, this basically proves that that little tiny white dot belongs only to Funtime Freddy generations, which include Freddy himself and Yendo. Since Ennard is more humanoid, it would only make sense that he wouldn't have that tiny white dot. And that would make the closed eye of his Funtime Freddy's. And whenever the girl might be in possession, it could be most likely that when she is speaking, Ennard's eyes would glow a brilliant green. Baby may have killed her, but the girl might not have possessed her. No, I think she probably had gone into Ennard. After all, circus. And another thing is about Baby not recognizing Michael. After all, since she was created by Henry and knew Afton, knew William, she would be most likely less familiar with Michael, since she says, "I don't recognize you. You are new." Whew, man. Okay, that is... Hold on. That's not all. What was I about to explain? Ah, yes. A little tidbit I forgot to mention was, when Ennard has his mask on, that dark little spot that I told you about that was a bit lopsided, well, it happens to rotate itself downward whenever he puts his mask on. Now I know some of you may be saying that, hey, that's a design flaw by Scott. Oh no, he would never. No, Scott never jokes about design. Don't you forget it. So this basically goes to show that Ennard is basically an entirely different animatronic. Are you satisfied yet? I bet you are. I bet you are. Anyway, that does it for part 1, and I will see you next time. Dazzling, blazing, shimmering dusk. His out.